welcome back to another tabletop review brought to you by me, Millennial Gunner. Today we are going to be talking about a very popular little plinking gun, the Taurus TX22. This gun is chambered in .22 long rifle and is one of my favorite calibers to shoot just for fun, for competition, and I do a lot of training with .22 LR just because it's so freaking cheap. But this gun was released late last year and you haven't been able to find it in stock anywhere. I have been trying for 6 months to find one, and I wasn't able to until just a couple weeks ago when I found it by chance at Cabela's for $300. Now, at $300, that is a little bit more expensive than what you would find on most of the online retailers like Bud's Gun Shop or Grab a Gun, but not too much. Most places I have found it to be about $270, $275, so $300. I could take it just so that way I could get it and start shooting with it. Before we get into talking about the gun itself, though, I want to talk about what all it comes with, like I normally do. So in typical Taurus fashion, it comes in this cardboard box, which, I mean, it's a budget gun, so this is one of the ways they cut money. No big deal. What it comes inside, though, is you get, in the model I got two 16-round magazines. There is a version that comes with two 10-round magazines, but I don't live in a commie state, so I got the 16-round magazines. It also comes with this orange zip tie, which is supposed to be an empty chamber indicator. Works really well as that, but I found it hilarious that they literally just cut a zip tie. Sorry guys, talking all the time makes my throat itchy. It also has the standard gun lock, nothing special there. Also comes with this trigger lock. I'm not going to try and fool around with that. Not going to fool around with that. Comes with the trigger lock. Comes with the key to the trigger lock. And then the thing I found really interesting was this little barrel adapter. Now, the TX22 does have a threaded barrel. What comes with the gun is a version, or it's just a thread protector on the end of it. This, you can unscrew that thread protector, screw this on, and then be able to screw a suppressor or a compensator at the end of your barrel. I thought that was a really cool little add-on, but we'll talk about it a little bit more, and I'll show what exactly I'm talking about when we are discussing the gun. That being the case, the whole reason I picked up this pistol was because I wanted a striker fire pistol for training. As I mentioned before, .22 LR is a very cheap caliber to shoot, and I wanted to get something as close as possible to my carry gun. That way I could get better quality practice when I didn't want to blow all the money on 9mm, especially now that 9mm is not only going up in price, but becoming harder to find. So this helps kind of supplement training. I also really like .22 LR for Steel Challenge. Helps me get a lot of practice for that in. But enough about that. Let's talk about the gun itself. As you can see, empty chamber's clear, no magazine. Gun is safe. Now, the TX22 is most definitely a subcompact gun. It has a 4-inch barrel. It's about 5.5 inches tall. It might be it's like 5.44 or something like that. Inches tall. It is a 1.25 inch wide and holds 16 rounds. So it's very much a compact, comparable size gun. Some of the things that I really like about the gun, I love the texture on this grip. It reminds me a lot of the SAR 9 and kind of has that HK palm swell, which I am a pretty big fan of. Really helps you get a good grip without being too much. I also really like this little finger groove. Some people really don't like them. I'm discovering more and more that I don't mind them as long as it's not too edged. The TX22 does a very good job with it. It really helps you get a understand where your hand's at and help you get a better placement. So I like that a lot. It does have a standard rail on it if you wanted to put a light or a laser or anything like that. It does come with a manual safety. Something that's a little odd with this gun is you cannot activate that safety unless the striker is engaged, and I thought that was kind of odd. Now, you all know I'm not a big fan of manual safeties. I just don't really see much of a point in them in a striker fire gun, so mine almost always stays like this. But if you do like them, which nothing wrong with that, just not my thing, it's very easy to manipulate even from a shooting position. Well, I say that, there we go. From a shooting position, it's very easy to disengage. So, and if you're like me and you don't like it, it's so minimalistic that you can pretend it's not there and be fairly successful with that. So, let's talk about some things. Really the one thing I don't like with this gun before, well, actually, let's talk about the trigger really quick. Because I do like the trigger. For a Taurus particularly, this is not a bad trigger. I will never say that Taurus has the best triggers in the world, but they also don't have the worst. This one leans much more on the good end than the bad end. There's a little bit of sponginess in it, but it's very smooth when you're actually shooting it, and has a very short uptake. Like, there's the uptake, just right there. And then you hit the wall, and then a very nice, crisp little break there. And then let's see if I can get the reset. Yeah, that's it. So, there's the break, very nice and crisp. And then, so yeah, not a whole lot of reset left on it at all. Is it the best trigger in the world? No, I won't argue that. But it is much better than most of the Taurus guns I have shot. Or, let me rephrase that. Taurus striker fire pistols I have shot. And it's not bad. I actually enjoy it. I can shoot it pretty accurately. We'll get more on that a little bit later, though. So, oh, it also does have these pretty good slide serrations. I don't use the front slide serrations a whole lot, but they're there and they're good. So I guess we'll talk about the things I don't like about this gun. This maybe not be a complaint on this gun, but just this sight system. I am learning more and more that I do not like the 3-dot system. Especially since I've been shooting fiber optic sights here recently. The 3-dot system I am finding just takes me just a little bit longer to focus on the front sight. So I can't say I'm a fan. But what I will probably do to correct that is just throw some black dots on it, on those back 2 sights, and see if that helps. If not, I'll black out the back 2 dots and then throw a fiber optic on the front of the thing. Oh, since we're back here, it also does have a striker fire indicator right here, which I always like that. I think that's cool. Oh, sorry guys, me talking bothers my throat a lot. Not getting the Rona, promise. The only other thing I really don't like on this gun is I don't like how they have this ejector port. It hasn't caused any problems, so functionally it's perfectly fine. It's just I do a lot of practicing shooting left hand and left-hand weaver stance. And if you are a left-handed person, you're going to hate this because it'll send um, those expended shells straight into your arm, as I discovered earlier today when I was testing the gun out. Um, so if you are a lefty, you're probably not going to like this gun a lot. Speaking of that, it does have a changeable safety or mag release, and the safety is ambidextrous. You see here. I think, really quick. So what I was talking about with the threaded barrel is right here, you see that little line right there. I'm not going to unscrew it because you need a wrench to do it, and I don't have one on me, but you can unscrew this part of the barrel and screw on that other one, and then you have threads to put a suppressor or compensator on. And I think that's really cool. I think that was really smart of them. But yeah. So now that we've gone over the raw specs of the gun and kind of how I like it, how does the thing shoot? It shoots well. I have shot about 400 rounds through the pistol currently, and I have experienced no light fires in those 400 rounds, or light strikes, which is common in 22s. One of the biggest things about 22s is every now and then you'll get a light strike on the cartridge, and that's just something you got to deal with when you're shooting rimfire ammo. But that has not been an issue with the Taurus TX22. The only issue that I have had is another really common issue with 22s, so I'm not sure it's even this gun. But when, if you don't load the magazine right, so that way a bullet is facing, sometimes the bullet will want to face like this. You need to make sure the nose of it is up like that, so that way it feeds into the barrel correctly. I've had a couple of times where I've had failures to feed because the bullet, instead of being tilted up like so, is flat like so and just doesn't want to feed. Sometimes you can fix that by giving it a little tap on the back of the gun and it'll slide in. Other times you just have to drop the magazine, take that round out, and tap and rack. Accuracy wise, this gun also gets high marks for me. I was shooting it out at 25 yards, and recently I've been trying to shoot better at 25 yards standing, so I've been using a 5-inch circle instead of my 7x9-inch circle. But I've been able to keep 3 out of 5 rounds on a 5-inch circle the other day when I was out, so I'll take that. On my standard size target, the 7x9 vital zone target, I can keep 16 rounds in the 9 circle on that. So this thing definitely passed the accuracy test. Let's see here. If there's anything else I can think of that you need to know about the TX22. I haven't had any problems with, sometimes with 22 LRs. If you do not have a really firm grip and a steady wrist, you can limp wrist it, and that causes malfunctions. This is particularly true with 22s, and I have not had that issue at all. So, overall, the gun is so far proven to be very reliable. I haven't cleaned it yet, so 400 rounds of not being cleaned and still not having any issues except not loading the magazine correctly. And getting some failure to feeds. Now, when I say some failure to feeds, I've literally had 3 failure to feeds out of 400 rounds. And like I said before, that is more of a reflection on how carefully you have to load 22 long rifle more than the gun itself, because that problem can happen with any of them. Before I go really quick, just my end of promotion stuff. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. I'm on YouTube, and Facebook is where I post the videos at, so wherever you're seeing this at, either subscribe to the YouTube or like me on Facebook so you can see more of my content. If you really like what I'm doing and want to help me create more videos, I have two affiliate sponsors. The first one being Lucky Gunner. Lucky Gunner is an ammo company that is all online based. You can order your whatever ammo you're looking for online on Monday and get it before the weekend. Um, and when you use their affiliate link, I get a little bit of a kickback, and that helps me mostly buy more ammo so that way I can do more tests like the one I've done on this gun. But I also am affiliated with USCCA, which if you carry a gun to defend yourself, you need some sort of legal protection. If you ever find yourself in a self-defense scenario, you are going to need a lawyer, and USCCA does a lot to mitigate those costs to you, but they also provide a lot of training programs and a really cool quarterly magazine that talks about how to train, um, product reviews, etc., etc. It's a really cool company. I like them a lot, but I'll leave the description to both of those below. And as I mentioned earlier, if you like what I'm doing and want more content, I will leave all of my social media information in the comments below. But that is all I got for this time, guys. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I thought I had something else, but I don't. So, thank you for watching, and remember, get good, be unsatisfied, stay chilly, snowflake.